I do actually believe there's a lot of people who are interested in those topics of intimacy, sensuality, and sexual energy, but maybe don't have the right people to talk with.
What we shared, especially in the sexual energy episode, if we had this podcast 10 years ago, that 10 years ago, Gui wouldn't be able to share, not even close, about the things that I was able to share in this episode because of the growth, the experiences over time.
Sometimes I'm a little worried when we are recording because I don't know what I don't know, and I don't know what is too much.
Yes, it was almost like we talked about something that people were craving to hear more of. And we delivered a content, and this content that people just consumed it so avidly.
Let's remember, most of the times, we're just two people looking at a camera, recording, and not knowing if anybody's going to watch or listen or be interested about it.
So I think for our audience, there is this beautiful fascination with the journey. You know, how you go from not knowing anything to knowing everything, or you're never going to know everything, but you're knowing more stuff.
What were the most watched and most discussed topics of the last year? Why were episodes on intimacy, sexual energy, and beginner guides the ones that you couldn't stop listening to? And how is the data revealing what the community truly craves in 2026? Well, let's find out. Hello everyone, and welcome back to ZoukNerds. In this episode, Gui Prada and I take a look back at our most successful year yet. We'll share our top 5 episodes, the surprising reasons why certain topics went viral, and which discussions made us the most nervous to publish. We're also giving you a first look at the new directions we're taking the podcast to help elevate the community in the coming year. So, let's go! Hello everyone, and welcome back. My name is Alisson Sanji, and let's welcome back our beautiful co-host, Gui Prada. Hello, Gui!
Hello, Alisson. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to ZoukNerds.
In this episode, we're going to be taking a look back into our last year, 2025, and all of the episodes that, surprisingly, you seem to like more than we expected in some of the topics. So, numbers people that we downloaded a full statistic report of all of the episodes, and we were very surprised with 2 main topics. Maybe not topics, but categories of topics that we saw that you guys really enjoyed. And we want to talk about it. Why? How? What happened? Because let's remember, most of the times we're just 2 people looking at a camera, recording, and not knowing if anybody's going to watch or listen or be interested about it. Yeah, so this is very interesting to look at this and see what you guys want. So, Gui, what do you take from this report that we now see here looking at the top 5 episodes?
Actually, for me, it's not very surprising. The first 2 episodes, the most listened to or watched 2 episodes, not very surprising to me. By the way, how long are we going to keep them, on a cliffhanger to tell them which episode we are talking about?
We can start right now.
We're going to hold the information from them. Before, guys, just noticing the change of scenery. Right now, I'm in Rio de Janeiro. I'm in my mother's house. Yeah, this used to be my brother's room, and now repurposed for my room. So for the next couple months, actually, you might see different sceneries, different places, because I'm going to be traveling a lot. So today, I'm in Rio. It's very hot, so the air conditioning is on. It's maximum. As you can see, there is 1 fan over there and 1 fan over here and 1 fan up there. So it's intense. The summer here is intense. Coming back to the episodes, the first 2 episodes, the most listened to. The first one was about intimacy and sensuality in partner dancing. I think this episode was just me and you, right, Addison, that we talked about? Or was this the episode?
No, that one was with Nelly.
Yes. And the second one was the episode about sexual energy. Yeah, the blurry lines in partner dance. So not surprising for me that these episodes are the most listened to or watched episodes. This is Spotify, right? I think so. Yeah, but people can also watch on Spotify. I don't know if you guys are watching, listening and watching, or just listening. But these first two episodes, they approach topics that, man, people in conversation, the dance people in conversation, they often approach these topics of intimacy on the dance, of sensuality on the dance, of sexual energy. What is it? What does that mean? And many different points of view, many different stories of frustration, many different stories of discoveries, different stories of all different emotions arising from these topics. So I'm very happy we did these episodes. I think they were really important for us to talk about these topics in a way that is more calm, more gentle, partial and impartial at the same time. It was amazing that we had Nelly here helping us and talking about her perspective as a woman, as a primary follower in the Brazilian Zouk community, and how she approaches these topics and talk about these topics with her students and when she's social dancing. So it's, for me, like a bunch of topics that I think we can talk more of, actually. Right, Alison? I don't know what you think, but only one episode of each thing. We might need to come back to these topics, and I think people would like it if we go back to them and expand on them, because what we shared, especially in the sexual energy episode, if we had this podcast 10 years ago, that 10 years ago, Gui wouldn't be able to share, not even close, about the things that I was able to share in this episode because of the growth, the experiences over time. I believe the Alison 10 years ago, oh my gosh, how that episode would have been with us from 10 years.
Highly censored.
Exactly. Or a lot of anxiety, and having no idea what to say.
Yes.
I think this could very likely be a possibility. Or saying a bunch of stuff that you would cancel us, People would like, oh my God, what are they talking about? Mostly because we didn't have the maturity to understand things or just one point of view. So time presents us with more point of view and hopefully with more wisdom. So doing new episodes on these topics, I think would be really cool. And I think you guys like it.
Yeah. To me, the surprising factor was not that people listen to it the most, but the fact that, as you said, this is something that we all talk about. So I didn't expect as much engagement because I thought, well, this is something kind of normal, like, why will people tune in into one of our episodes to actually listen to this? But looking from the other side, I do actually believe there's a lot of people who are interested in those topics of intimacy, sensuality, and sexual energy, but maybe don't have the right people to talk with. They are maybe in a smaller community, or they are new to the community, or they're in a position that they just don't feel comfortable enough to talk to anybody about it, but they experience it, they think about it, they feel it, and they just don't know what to do. So I think those are the two sides that I can imagine. But guys, please let us know. Send us a message on Instagram or comment down below here on Spotify, on YouTube, so we can actually know what's going on, so we can do more and we can do better. And I do believe so. We should and we can do more episodes that are focused on those topics that we didn't think that they would be very Zouk nerdy, but we did think it was very important for a dancer, for a person in the community, because that's what we are here. And I'm very happy that you guys have approved. Because put it this way, last year we decided, okay, let's be serious about this. Let's make it weekly. And then this year, we pretty much did a full 12 months of almost non-stop weekly episodes. We've missed a few here and there because, we're human and we are one-man show on each side. So we do our best and we hope that you're okay with this. But this year, for us, it was very much a trial year where we were just talking about everything that came forward into our minds, any question that you guys sent to us, any discussion that was happening online in and outside of the ZoukNerds group. So it was very much a test and trial year to know what you guys like and what we like to talk about as well. Because there were some topics that at the very beginning we were like, oh, I don't know if we can have an episode of this. Can we actually talk about it? I don't know. And then we start recording and then boom, we have so much to say. We are also getting to know ourselves. So thank you for the support. But the other, following the third and fourth, those are the ones that I had a strong belief that a lot of people would be tuning in, which are the Beginner's Guide to Brazilian Zouk and From Basics to Mastery, Your Dance Guide, episodes 47 and 55. Those two, I have received so many messages of people saying, oh my God, I've listened to the Beginner's Guide to Brazilian Zouk multiple times and I've taken notes multiple times. So I'm very, very excited to actually revisit this also in the future because like we mentioned in those two episodes, it's a constant evolving process. We did these episodes in, let me see here, June this year and January this year. And I can tell you that right now, today, if we did these episodes, there's going to be so many updates. Yeah. And maybe even some changes on how we do things in our teaching, in our classes, or in our own training. And then the fifth, which is something that I think is very close to our heart, is the episode 36, The Truth About Flow and Connection. And I think that, yes, maybe the name is a little abstract. What is the truth? But it was an episode that we tried our best to really share how we do this, what it is to achieve flow and connection in our dance, and how we help people to do that. So about those 3 other episodes, Gui, what do you have to say?
Yeah, the Beginner Guide, let me check the name here exactly. Yeah, the Beginner's Guide to Brazilian Zouk. This was one of my favorite episodes, I think, to talk about and to share. And because it's such a ever-changing, evolving topic, there is a continuous state of excitement to talk about it all the time, if I could. So I think doing more of these episodes is definitely something that we want to do for sure. Because like Alison said, we are evolving and constantly changing as teachers, as observers of the journey of someone who is starting to dance from scratch. And I know that many of you who are listening to this episode, who are watching us, are local teachers, community leaders, people who are wanting to start something, either teaching or a school or a community. And I know that we have also some listeners that are really dedicated students in the sense that take all the available classes in the place that they are. So episodes in which we talk about the journey, I think it speaks directly to the teacher who wants to know how to take people on that journey, and speak directly to the people who are on that journey. Yeah, and the teachers too, or the community leaders, they are at a different part of the journey, so they can, remember and maybe reassess how their journey went. I don't know if you listen to this, Alison, but perhaps this episode, the Beginner's Guide, and the Sexual Energy episode are the episodes that I got most messages about directly on DMs. Did you, Alison, did you get more from the Beginner's Guide or more from the Sexual Energy?
I did get more from the beginner's guide. I think the sexual energy, I got a few messages of appreciation for having the courage to really bring this episode to life and share. Because I'll tell you guys, sometimes I'm a little worried when we are recording these episodes because I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, and I don't know what is too much. So this year, like I said, is being a very big learning year for us. And I do feel a little bit more confident that we can talk about this and it's not going to be a problem with you because you've supported us when talking about this. So I feel less scared now. But yes, sexual energy was a little more on the side of appreciation for bringing this topic into a conversation. But the beginner's guide was very much like, oh my God, yes, I want this. I want more of this. I want part 1, part 2, part 3, part 5. Do this every 6 months. It was a different type of excitement.
Yes. Yes, it was almost like we talked about something that people were craving to hear more of. And we delivered a content, and this content that people just consumed it so avidly. And like Alison, I got messages from people all over wanting to know more, and they asked for part 2, part 3, part 4. So I think there is, for our audience, for you that are listening, there is this beautiful fascination with the journey, how you go from not knowing anything to knowing everything, or you're never going to know everything, but to knowing more stuff. And the From Basics to Mastery, your dance guide, which is a very similar topic. I don't remember, Alison, exactly how we differentiated the beginner's guide to Brazilian Zouk to the From the Basics to Mastery. I don't remember if we talked about like going through or going into the master level and what to do that, how to do that.
Yeah, so from memory, the beginner's guide was more focused on how we prepare and how we teach our beginners and how to make it more inclusive, how to make it more adaptable to grow every community anywhere in the world. But the From Basics to Mastery was more like how to train and how to evolve, how to get like unstuck and have a certain path to mastery, which is similar to another very highly rated episode, which is down here, is the plateau.
Yeah, this dance plateau was one of our most listened to episodes.
For a while, it was the top.
But now...
Oh yeah, overcoming intermediate plateau and achieving true advanced level. So right now, it's on the 9th place, I think. Yeah, 9th place. Not bad. But that was our top episode for quite a while, which is the episode 11 of our season 5.
And you see that like from a 4th place, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next 6 episodes who are in the top, they're all about becoming a better dancer, going over the plateau, what is to become advanced, how to train like a professional. That was another one. So there is a big interest from you guys about really how to walk the walk of Brazilian Zouk dancing. And this is amazing to know. It's a very good guidance for us. Very excited to do more episodes about this. And like Alison said, and like we talked about in the idea of how would be us from 10 years ago talking about intimacy and sexual energy. And after this whole year of teaching regular classes, and especially these last 2 cycles of classes that I had in Washington, D.C., I think the beginner's guide episode would look different. Like I was trying new things in the drop-in classes and trying new things with the drop-in class for absolute beginners that we have and seeing that they were working. And I was like, oh my God, we have to do more of this. And changing certain things about the teaching aspect itself, how I give the content. So these are ever evolving things. And I think Alison and I are really passionate about the craft of teaching dance and always looking for ways to say things better, to use our bodies better, to show things better so people can see more clearly. So if we do a beginner's guide episode in 2026, that's going to be probably several similar things, but a lot of new stuff that we found out recently.
Oh, yeah.
Because guys, especially for you who is teaching, who are wanting to teach, guys, this is a muscle you develop. The teaching dance is a muscle. The more you do it with this intention, with this presence of getting better at conveying the message, of conveying movement through your voice, with your body, using all means that are available to you, you improve almost by osmosis. You don't realize you're improving, but you do see that you are being able to convey a topic or a concept much faster. That people are getting stuff faster than they used to. A thing that used to take 15 minutes to go over, in 5 minutes you cover the whole thing and you see that people got it. So it's a muscle. You keep developing it. So episodes like this, I think we can have so many different parts, beginner's guide, parts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on for all the other ones. For you, Alison, is there any one of these topics excites you more to talk more about?
Absolutely. That's the next thing that I wanted to talk about. Which ones were the most exciting and which ones were, I would say, the scary ones. Scary because I didn't exactly know how people would receive, or I didn't really know what I wanted to say about it. Those are two things, because sometimes we get requests or we get ideas and we're like, yes, that's a very interesting topic, but what are we going to talk about? Because there's so many layers to almost everything that we do here. So the ones that excite me the most, and let me give you guys a little background on how we prepare for the episodes. We have a few systems where we store the episodes that people request. Okay, so we look into those, we look into the Facebook group, or we bring topics from a conversation or a thought that we had over that week, over that month, either by ourselves or just talking to another person. So the topics comes from pretty much anywhere. But when we start talking about it just before recording, we want to make sure that we know what we're going to talk about. Not necessarily that we know the content and we are masters of the content, but we know where we're going with it. Because we want to make sure that we respect your time listening to these episodes. So we want to make sure that there is a clear beginning, middle, and end to everything that we're going to say, instead of just being a huge mess of an episode where we talk about everything, but we don't really talk about anything. So that's kind of the process that we try our best. And anything to do with like how to train, how to overcome plateaus, how to understand certain techniques, or how to teach. All of those things for me, and I believe that is for Gui as well, we just feel like very at home. We feel like, okay, just press record, let's go. We just need to kind of set some parameters on how deep or how many topics we're going to talk about, because we could be talking for hours. We are so passionate about this thing that we have to limit ourselves and go like, okay, let's just go up until here, because otherwise this can be a 3 hours conversation. So those are, for me, very, very easy to talk about. All the technique, training, social dancing, community building, event organization, professional life, traveling, anything to do with what I do on a daily basis. And then for me, I would say the least comfortable to just simply wake up, press record, are the ones that are more talking about the personal side. the personal side, like the intimacy, the sexual energy, the silence, for example, the anxiety, the self-criticism episodes, the self-awareness with Paloma, kind of like those that you have to really look inside and go a little deeper on your personal level. I think those are the ones that, to me, I need to have a little bit more concentration before I start. So then I feel confident to come in and go like, yes, all right, I understand what we're going to talk about. How is that for you? Is that similar, Gui?
Somewhat similar. I really talk about the whole teaching aspect so much. Lately, I mean, not so recently, but, in the last year or two, I've been really enjoying talking about the philosophical aspects of dance, like how they relate to life and how they relate to our inner selves. I have been really, really enjoying this topic. So the aspects of sensuality, intimacy, I actually like talking about these topics because I feel this excitement to share some perspectives about it because of my observations over time, not only about dance or the dance community, but overall, like my observations of life overall. So I'm in this pursuit of more and more awareness and a better ability to make observations before I make judgments. Before I pass on a judgment, make an assessment or an evaluation, I am training my being to be able to make observations. So in a world that we have so much judgment, so much conflict going on, I feel a strong desire to use this platform to share more of the observations. And then we can, from the observations, extract different things, So I feel very good and very passionate about the opportunity to show more than one perspective. And these topics that are hard to talk about, we do, Nelson, when we are preparing for the episodes and the topic is a more sensitive one, we do go over the sensitive aspect of it and how can we be mindful in how we approach it, how we can be attentive, be caring about how we approach these harder topics. But I feel very safe here. I feel very comfortable in this environment. I know that right now I'm in my room by myself, looking at a camera. Alison in his room by himself, looking at another camera, and we are talking with each other, and then we are talking with you who are listening and watching. But I feel this very strange sense of trust and calm that allow me to talk about these episodes. And this also feels this part of myself that really likes to observe humans being humans and humans navigating things. And the more I observe, the more I feel fascinated. Sometimes I feel joy, sometimes I feel a lot of frustration, sometimes I feel anger, and sometimes I'm like, what the hell are we doing? What are you doing, my people? So it's a mix of emotions, and I like to talk about them here because it feels good, it feels safe, it feels open. So very long answer to your question. And I think right now, if I were to put on a scale of things I like to talk about the most, I think it would be tied in first place teaching aspects and aspects of the human interaction, the human behavior that I observe in our dance scene.
And what would be the topics or categories that you'd be least excited to talk about or a little hesitant to talk about, if at all?
I often feel some anxiety talking about competitions. And
I knew it.
Yeah, I think this is the thing that I feel most anxious to talk about, but it's not too much. But if I were to put in a scale of things that I am slightly uncomfortable, that would be it. And I think I would feel uncomfortable talking about maybe some of the admin aspects of this work. When we have to manage our schedule, book our trips, book our flights, talk to people, organize a whole thing, like touring, organizing, and the administrative work that is involved, and the talk with the organizers and all the negotiations. I think when we talk about like the rates and the amount of hours that we're teaching, and we're going from this place to this other place with this means of transportation and with the budget, so all these things, I think perhaps this is more complicated, will be more complicated than the competition itself. I think this perhaps is the most complicated one. And a third one, I think maybe talking about other teaching methodologies, because I haven't been able to sit and observe them all. All I have is what other people tell me and when I dance with people that did a certain methodology. So I don't have the experience of being in a room listening to what is being said. So all I have is what I heard from other people. It's like a third person account. I don't know. It's like that was the expression when you don't get the thing from the source. You get the thing from somebody that took from the source. There's a term for that I'm forgetting right now. But yeah.
I think what you said is right, or at least it makes sense.
Yeah. So I think it would be the worst one, the logistical aspects of things. And then it would be the teaching methodologies, and then it'd be competitions. I think this would be my bottom 3 things I would be excited to talk about. And it's funny because I think I would be excited to talk about these things. It's just it would be hard to talk about these things. It would be uncomfortable sometimes to talk about these things.
Why would the logistics and negotiation and organization would be uncomfortable for you? Why are those uncomfortable?
Because there is sometimes frustrations that come with it. There's sometimes stress that come with it. There is sometimes changes that happens, like you plan a whole thing with these things in mind, and then one of the things fall off place, and then you have to reorganize everything, because organizing big tours or longer events, you rely on several people doing what they told you they were going to do. So if there is one disruption, man, disrupts the whole thing. Especially right now that I am organizing a long stretch of time traveling, I feel extra sensitive about this whole thing because I'm in it. So perhaps, more biased because I'm in it. But every time that has happened, I have organized long travels for 3 years in a row now. And sometimes it's smooth sail, but when it's not, it's really not. So it's tricky, man. It's tricky. Sometimes it can be very, very tricky.
I completely agree, because there are so many people in this community, and we're all different people, right? We have different backgrounds, we have different values and priorities. And I'll be very honest, guys, I'm a brain person, I'm a numbers person, I'm a dancer by training, not because I was born to be this way or to do this, in my honest opinion. So I'm more of the technical, methodical, systematic kind of person, which is not the common thing in our community. So there is a lot of babysitting when I'm an organizer, or when I'm an artist organizing some tours or traveling to some places, because a lot of people in the community are great at being artists and creative people, but they're not good at organizing themselves or their own business. So I understand you, Gui, and I think this is something that in the future we should actually bring to the table, spill the tea, and talk about it. Because to be honest, I actually enjoy that part of working with people that don't know what they don't know in terms of community building or event organizing or something like that. So put it this way, I'm the artist and I'm working with somebody who doesn't know but is willing and hungry to learn, I'm like, let me hold your hand and help you as much as I can. I love that. But the problem is when people think they know and they think they are organizing things properly. And I am the one asking questions and I'm the one being annoying because I know that things are not organized well. And I am the artist going to the event. And do I even know what's going to happen when I get there? Or am I going to eat or am I going to be hungry? Because nobody says anything. There's no agreement, contract with details about those things. So yes, I think those are things that we really need to do. I think we really need to talk about in the future to share our experiences and also hopefully help educate the community on what to expect. And hopefully, I think that's the biggest one for me. Raise the bar. Raise the bar and make it better for everybody. Make it better for attendees, make better for organizers, and make better for artists. So we all can do a better job, because we do hear that a lot of organizers want to stop organizing because they have difficulties with artists or attendees. And then some attendees, they want to stop traveling or going to events because the organizers are not doing a good job in their point of view. And then artists also feeling the frustration and feeling the pain from their side because they're struggling to work with certain organizers or community. So I think that's a great topic to talk about. And we'll be comfortable with it. I think we'll be comfortable with it, especially after Gui does the second world tour. That's a second one, or maybe third. I'm not sure.
The second one across many countries. Yeah. Last year, I traveled 2023, 2024, 2025. But 2023 and 2024, they were 2023, a bunch of countries. 2024, 3, I think. 2025, just one. Was just basically just Taiwan. And 2026 is going to be a bunch of places. So it's a long trip. Yeah. And like Alison said, there is a fun part to it. There's a very fun part of it. I like my spreadsheets. I like to know, I like to have the flights far in advance and all these things. This part is fun. The part that is tricky really is the variables that are at play. Like I said, there are many people involved and all of them need to follow through with their commitments. And sometimes even the commitments are not fully clear, fully set. There is one thing that is missing. There's other thing that is missing. So getting everything very clear, very set is what brings me peace of mind and quiet, And sometimes I move at a different pace in what comes to that. I like to know them earlier, That is the tricky part.
Those are the things that we would definitely be talking about more in the coming year. But I think this is a good summary of how 2025 went for us. The exciting things, the scary things, the comfortable things, the uncomfortable things. And we're looking forward to so much more in the coming year. And we want to make sure that, please, you participate with us. So send us messages, send us comments on YouTube, Instagram, whatever social media you follow us on. And if you haven't yet, please follow and subscribe to help us reach out to more people and grow our community here, to help our world community to talk more about things that sometimes are uncomfortable.
Yeah, guys, this was a beautiful year for us here as ZoukNerds. Thank you so much for your audience, for your tuning in. And I'm really looking forward to our 2026 and the topics we're going to talk about. And then, like Alison said, send us your requests. Oh my God, help us so much to have like a direction of what to talk that is going to contribute to your life. So thank you so much. And I can't wait for more in the coming year. In the coming years, let's put in the plural.
Years. So many of them. As long as we're here, as long as there's internet and camera, hopefully we'll be here for you guys. So thank you for being here once again. Beijos, beijos, abraços, and ciao.
Bye, everybody.